Wakey, wakey, mate. How you feeling? Yeah, we're all feeling a bit knackered. It's to be expected. Yeah, especially after yesterday. Any battle scars? You do. Let's have a look. That's nothing. Yeah, well, you're pretty new, so you got a long way to go. Yeah, Churchill's got a new mission for us. Yeah, I'll brief you more on it in the morning, but they've given us a rundown already. As long as you were listening. Good. Well, we're all there to support you anyway if you need anything. But we better make sure you're well equipped before we head out. I know it's early. It always is. So, what we're going to do is kit check. One of the most important things. You need to make sure that we've got all the kit. Then I'll have a look at that later for you. Okay. You got any questions? Alright. You probably think of some as we go on. But one of the arguably most important things, ammunition. These are what we will be working with. So these were introduced in 1888, designed for the Lee Metford bolt action rifle. But then it got redesigned, and now it's the Lee Enfield rifle. These are pretty standard. They worked well in the First World War, so why not use them in the Second? Yep. They're pretty reliable. I reckon you can get about, successfully, 550 yards out of these. Rate of fire is about 50 to 30, depending on. Pretty nice. They'll be your new best friend. Make sure you've got all the bits to keep it in as well. You don't want them going rusty. Absolute nightmare. So, you may or may not already have one of these. That's mine. My rations book. Doubt we'll be needing it though. Yeah. It can get pretty heavy out there. But we're a good team. We'll look after you. Yeah. To be honest, we never fully know what we're going in for. Never know what to expect. That's kind of the fun of it though. Someone's got to do it. We are the team that gets stuff done and by any means necessary. Some people question our methods. There are some people that don't really agree with our methods, but if it gets the job done, it gets the job done. What made you want to be a part of it anyway? You got family? Yeah. We've all got family. But it's for the greater good, I suppose. We're a solid team here. We're your family now. Right. Well, since you've already been injured, we do have some dressings already. Make sure you carry these at all times. You never know when you will need to dress a wound, and you don't want to get infected. It'd be pretty embarrassing if you're out on the battlefield and you slowly die of infection. Not a very heroic death. These are the ones that we use. These are made by Arthur Burton, 1942. I'm not going to explain how to use them because you shouldn't need to be told. They pretty much come like this. Pretty standard, I'm sure you've probably seen them before. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be without these. They seem pretty basic, but I've seen men nearly bleed to death because they haven't got any dressings left. Try and carry extra if you can. Might save your life. And in here we've got one of these. You absolutely must stay hydrated at all times. Again, it's a pretty miserable death if you die of dehydration, but it's pretty rare. But all the same, you don't want to die like that. So, I'll now go through the essentials, which I will show you in a minute. Respirators. So, a respirator, if properly put on, protects the eyes, nose, mouth and lungs and ensures a supply of pure air for breathing by means of filters which are able to absorb any gas known to be capable of being used in war. Am I making you fall asleep yet? The face piece, the edges of which fit closely round the face, prevents any air from getting inside the respirator, except that which passes through the filters. It is held in position by adjustable straps behind the head. Once these straps have been properly adjusted, the respirator, if needed, can be put on instantly. Now, this may be boring to you, but it's things that you need to know. You never know when you will need to pop on a gas mask. How often? I would say there's not been many missions where we haven't reached for one. Yeah. Again, it's a pretty nasty thing to happen to you if you get gassed and you don't have one. But they're not completely bomb-proof, so I'll go through that in a moment. Your refuge room is your first line of defence because a respirator cannot protect the other parts of your body from dangerous liquids, such as mustard gas. I don't know if you've heard of that. I'll go through it. These liquid gases need the most rigorous precautions because they continue to be dangerous long after they've been dropped. The vapour as well as the liquid affects the skin of parts of the body not protected by the respirator. You see, it'll protect your lungs but not the outside of you. Remember too that by staying in a refuge room you have some protection against flying splinters and debris, as well as additional protection against gas. Your respirator will not be issued unless it becomes necessary, but will be carefully stored in readiness to be distributed very quickly before an actual emergency came. These are just standard. We ignore that part because we often do need them. This is just your standard Home Office issued safety book, but it's worth going through anyway. Yeah, well, I would say since I've been in the service, we've lost about 2 men. Yeah. Sometimes there are things that you can't foresee. No matter how much you plan, no matter how much you strategize. Yeah, tragic really. They were good men. It's rare that you get through without any casualties or fatalities. That's why You need to hunker down with your training. Yeah. I know, we're all tired, but it might just save your life. So, boring old book, pretty important. Right. There are some things on incendiary bombs, but I'll go through that later. I'll go through treatment for shock and wounds next. So, this is pretty important because we've had some instances where we've needed this and no one has read the book but me. So it was lucky I was there. But anyway, I'm going to tell you just in case. So treatment for shock. Place the patient flat on his back, on a bed or a rug or cushion. If you think a bone may be broken, do not move the patient more than can be helped. That's really important. People tend to just shovel them up and it just creates more damage internally. Anyway, loosen the clothing at the neck, chest and waist to make the breathing freer. Cover the patient warmly with rugs and blankets. In cases of shock, the body loses heat. A hot water bottle is helpful. We don't bother with that. We haven't got time for that, to be honest. Take care that it does not lie in contact with the skin. Give hot drinks. If we have any, you don't know what situation you're going to be in. If you cannot make hot drinks, give cold water in sips, but only if the patient is conscious and able to swallow. Do not drown them. If they look like they're struggling to breathe, please do not give them water. Yeah, we nearly had one of our guys drown someone that way. Sometimes the common sense is limited. Soothe the patient by speaking reassuringly. Yeah, you get it. I mean, some of the lads, they're great men, but they don't offer much in ways of sympathy, I'll just let you know. I'm probably the most sympathetic one. Right. This will apply to you. Treatment of wounds. You seem pretty accident prone, no offence. And you got it, yeah, there you go, accident prone. But I bet you're one of them people where you probably do more damage to yourself accidentally than gets done to you. So, the first thing to do is to stop the bleeding and to keep the wound clean. That should go without saying. If you don't know that, you shouldn't be here. This can be done by covering it with a clean dressing bound on tightly. Do not touch a wound with your fingers because of the risk of poisoning from dirt. Depending on where you're deployed as well, if you're in a forest, I don't know why some of them have done this, but don't put leaves on that you don't know what the leaf is. Someone tried to use poison ivy once. Absolute nightmare. Yeah, they're not with us anymore. They didn't last very long. That's another thing. Always research and dig deeper into where you're being deployed. You need to be aware of your surroundings. Use things that can help you. Things like leaves, some have healing properties. Some will kill you slowly. You need to know the difference. These are all the things that they won't tell you, but I'm telling you because of experience. Always do your research. Yeah, your surroundings are very important. You don't know what climate you're going to be in. We were trekking through a desert. Someone forgot their canister. Yeah. We helped them out, but they wouldn't have lasted long without us. Yeah, it's incredibly hot. Not the kind of climate that we're used to in Britain. No. Anyway, bear that in mind. Yep. Treatment of broken bones. If bones or limbs are broken, it is extremely unwise to move the patient more than is absolutely necessary. Again, do not shovel the human. Just leave them, ask them where it hurts. Right. Yeah, treatment for gas, we'll go through that later. Okay, some of it is pretty self-explanatory, but it's worth letting you know anyway, just in case. Right. So, next, going off that, we are issued these anyway. Now, if you were in the normal military, you would only have these if absolutely necessary. We always carry them. That's the kind of missions that we're sent in for. Yep. Now, they are uncomfortable, but you are going to need one at some point. Maybe tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. Yeah. Do not leave it behind. I know it weighs kind of a lot. You must keep it on you, because you won't be borrowing mine and you won't be borrowing anyone else's. Make sure that you keep it on you. I know it seems a bit inconvenient, but it's better safe than sorry. You look pretty strong though, so I doubt you'll have a problem with carrying kit. Right. On to the best part of this. Wartime recipes. Now, again, you don't know how much food you can have access to. Normally, we run on the bare minimum. Yeah, it's also not smart to overeat because you'll be lethargic and bloated, and we don't need that. We don't need slow people. Right? But that doesn't mean to say that you can't enjoy a meal once in a while, if the occasion arises. It's just for fun really, but I'll go through it to lighten the mood. So, what would you like? Soups, meat dishes, savoury meat. You're not vegetarian, are you? Right. Let's see. I mean, it's pretty much the same ingredients for every dish, but I'll go through it anyway. Here's one. French peasant soup. 4 tomatoes, 2 ounces of margarine, 2 onions, 2 ounces of cheese, half a loaf of brown bread, stale, salt and pepper, 1 pint stock or milk and water. Chop the onions fine and fry with the margarine in a saucepan. Again, we are limited, but I'll read them anyway. Add tomato, fresh, bottled or tinned, cut up, put them in the stock or the milk and water and cook for half an hour. Add breadcrumbs and cheese and cook for 10 minutes longer. Most French households keep a vegetable mill, now procurable in various forms in this country, and via this most useful article, all leftovers go into the stock pot for soups. I will say, if you can get smart with your meals, it's very valuable. Yeah, make sure you carry reserves. Now, we have one guy who, it's terribly frustrating for him, bless him, but he gets low blood sugar a lot, goes dizzy. His aim is just unbelievable when it happens. But see, that's really important. Keep your sugar levels up if you can. Yeah. See, something as simple as that actually hinders him quite a lot. Food is important. It's sustenance, energy, keeps your brain ticking away. Yeah. Food is essentially your best friend. Get it where you can. Right. One more then, just to amuse me. Sausage loaf. Grease a loaf-shaped tin and decorate with chopped parsley. I don't know where we would get a loaf-shaped tin out here, but if you ever come across one, maybe in a civilian town, decorate with chopped parsley, hard-boiled egg, and strips of ham or tongue. Put mixture in tin, not quite full, and fill up with stock to the top. Put paper on top and put tin in another tin containing water and cook for 1 hour. Turn out. There is a spelling error in this. That's ridiculous. Right. Wartime recipes. Yeah, you've got to have a laugh where you can, haven't you? Right, let's look at that. I'm gonna first. I do have better resources, but we'll pretend that we're out in the field, okay? Right. Make sure the bandages are clean. These are fine. It's just a little thing, really. Bit of a drama queen, aren't you? Right. Gotta make sure it's tight, but not too tight that it cuts off your blood flow. Okay. Put the excess over there. Okay. That should keep me going for a bit. Yeah, I've seen some pretty horrific stuff. Seen a man get his leg blown off. Well, it wasn't one of ours, so it was alright, but it was still pretty gross. Yeah. I mean, the more time you spend fighting wars and, you know, seeing all kinds of horrible stuff, you kind of become desensitized to it. Some people don't, but I think you tend to build up a bit of a tolerance to it mentally. Yeah, until it's one of your own guys. That's when it kind of hits home. But, you know, we're all there to look out for each other. Yeah, I mean, we've been authorised to do some pretty horrific things. But it's necessary. Yeah, I understand. We're not allowed to tell anyone. It's kind of one of those things where we can only ever really talk about it amongst ourselves. And Churchill. Yeah. He'll check on us now and again. It's alright to be worried. We all get scared sometimes. No one will tell you to your face apart from me. But I know fear when I see it. We'll see how you fare out there. I think this is going to be the toughest one yet. Well, if you haven't got your humour, what have you got? Yeah. Keep well anyway. Don't let little things like that get infected. I know I was pulling your leg, but it's pretty important that you address it. And let me know if there's anything else you need. We're always here for you. Yeah. Well, I think that's everything for now. Yeah, we'll go over it again tomorrow before we head out. Right. Something you're worried about? Okay. Yeah, no, don't worry. We'll go through everything again tomorrow. I'll brief you again, just to make sure you know what's happening. If at any point you've got any questions, just let me know. Yeah. Okay then. Well, since we're awake, we should probably go for a jog or something, get some fresh air. Well, I'll meet you out in the yard in a bit. Okay, see you later.